Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Volume up. Loud. Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Little loud. Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranita, 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 Jai Gauranita. Jayo Jagannath, Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jai Sri Subhadra. Jayo Radha Vallabha Radha Vallabha Shri Radhe. Jayo Radha Vallabha Radha Vallabha Shri Radhe. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. श्रीपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तुतर्षत श्री श्रीमद् चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रीपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तुतर्षत श्री श्रीमद् श्रील भक्तिवेदांत सूर्य ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter number 5, Verse number 49. Yatha hi skanda shakhanam Yatha hi skanda shakhanam Taror moolavasechanam Taror moolavasechanam Evam aradhanam Vishnu Evam aradhanam Vishnu Sarvesham atmanascha hi Sarvesham atmanascha hi Yatha hi skanda shakhanam Taror moolavasechanam Evam aradhanam Vishnu Sarvesham atmanascha hi Yatha hi skanda shakhanam Taror moolavasechanam Evam aradhanam Vishnu Sarvesham atmanascha hi. Because there are no senior men, senior Matajis can say first, kids can say later. Yatha hi skanda shakhanam Taror Anyone else would like to chant from Mataji's side? Eva hi skanda Boys, would you like to chant? यथा हि स्कन्दशाखानां तरोर्मूलावसेचनम् एवमाराधनं विष्णो सर्वेषां यथा हि स्कन्दशाखानां तरोर्मूलावसेचनम् एवमाराधनं विष्णो सर्वेषामात्मनश्च हि. Word for word meaning. Yatha, as, he, indeed, skandha, of the trunk, shakhanam, and of the branches, taro, of a tree, moola, the root, avasechanam, watering, evam, in this way, aradhanam, worship, Vishnu, of Lord Vishnu, sarvesham, of everyone, atmanaha, of the super soul, cha, also, he, indeed. Translation. When one pours water on the root of a tree, the trunk and branches of the tree are automatically pleased. Similarly, when one becomes a devotee of Lord Vishnu, everyone is served, for the Lord is the super soul of everyone. Please repeat the translation. When one pours water on the root of a tree, the trunk and the branches of the tree are automatically pleased. Similarly, when one becomes a devotee of Lord Vishnu, everyone is served, for the Lord is the super soul of everyone. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki joy ho. As stated in Padma Puran, Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnu aradhanam param tasmat paratram devi tadyanam samacharanam. Of all types of worship, worship of Lord Vishnu is the best. Better than the worship of Lord Vishnu is the worship of his devotee, the Vaishnavas. There are many demigods worshipped by people who are attached to material desires. Kamastasthayar hitagyana prapadyante devata. Because people are embarrassed by so many material desires, they worship Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Goddess Kali, Durga, Ganesh, Surya to achieve different results. However, one can achieve all these results simultaneously just by worshipping Lord Vishnu. As stated elsewhere in the Bhagavatam 4:31-14. Yatha tarora moola nischanena tripyanti tatskanda bhujopashakha pranopaharam yachatendriyanam tathaiva sarvaharanam achyuteja. Just by pouring water on the root of a tree, one nourishes its trunks and all of its branches, fruits and flowers. And just by supplying food to the stomach, one satisfies all the limbs of the body. Similarly, by worshipping Lord Vishnu, one can satisfy everyone. Krishna consciousness is not a sectarian religious movement. Rather, it is meant for all embracing welfare activities for the world. One can enter this movement without discrimination in terms of caste, creed, religion, or nationality. If one is trained to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is the origin of Vishnu Tattva, one can become fully satisfied and perfect in all respects. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. Any idea who is speaking here for those devotees who are attending from last few days? Anyone remembers who is speaking these verses? Exactly. Lord Brahma is speaking. So now they are offering their prayers to the Lord from yes. So demons have taken power now. They are more powerful than the devatas. And that's the section, and that's where Samudra Manthan, the churning of milk ocean, will come in following chapters. So the devatas are weak, and the asuras or the demons have gained power. And to please the Lord for a solution, Lord Brahma is representing the devatas, and these are the prayers that the Brahmaji is offering. But this is very interesting prayer. Even though this prayer comes in set of many different prayers, explaining, glorifying the Lord, and so many aspects, so many different philosophical aspects we heard yesterday, and then one more verse is there to go next for tomorrow. Here Lord Brahma is very specifically explaining the position of Lord Vishnu and what happens when someone worships Lord Vishnu. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada quotes a very famous shloka, which most of you must have heard. How this is spoken by Lord Shiva to Parvati. So in the verse itself, the Aradhana Nam Sarvesham, in the third line it says Tasmat Parataram Devi. So the Devi referred in that particular verse is to Mother Parvati. Shivji is telling to Parvati that amongst all the worship, the most superior worship is of Lord Vishnu. And even better than worshipping Lord Vishnu is Tadyanam. Tadyanam means the paraphernalia or those who belong to Lord Vishnu. And Prabhupada has often quoted this verse saying, the devotees of the Lord belong to the Lord. So when we speak this particular verse explaining the position of the devotees in front of new people or even devotees sometimes, an immediate question comes, then why demigod worship is condemned? Because they are also devotees of the Lord. So what is wrong in worshipping the devatas? Because the highest worship is worship of the devotees of Vishnu. So then why we are saying no demigod worship? Very specific reason is the mentality which Prabhupada is quoting in the purport also. I'll read exactly and then I'll speak on that. There are many demigods worshipped by people who are attached to material desires. Because people are embarrassed by so many material desires, they worship Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Goddess Kali, Durga, Ganesh and Surya to achieve different results. The problem which Srila Prabhupada actually saw very clearly, which was happening in the whole cultural traditional setup in India, where people would go to temple and then, even though the temple is named after a certain deity, but due to some reason, a particular deity or of a demigod will become famous in the temple because some desires, material desires of people have fulfilled and it becomes popular. So even if it is a Krishna temple, but the crowd will go more towards another particular deity because now the folklore or the songs are sung in the community that, oh, if you want to fulfill your desires, this particular worship is very powerful. Even though the center deity is very different. So, Prabhupada was very careful while instituting and while establishing deity worship in ISKCON. In Leelamrita, if you read, there is an instance where Prabhupada did think about having demigods in the temple. even Lord Shiva or Durga Devi. But then he decided not to, just because of this one reason, that people should not again divert their attention from pure devotional service to Lord Vishnu or Krishna, and then again start worshipping the devatas for fulfilling their material desires. And one of the classic and very common attitude people have while worshipping devatas is of seeing them as independent givers. Seeing them as independent personalities who have no authority over them, and they are providing the results based on their own capacities. This is very much like someone trying to please a bureaucrat in an organization, thinking that the particular bureaucrat I am dealing with is capable in offering the result independent of the CEO or the director of the company. And this is very common mentality, very, very common mentality. And those who want to cheat other people in the name of certain worship, they actually cash on it. We'll see, especially now these days, social media is there, YouTube, all these videos you see, people are becoming very famous. And they promote their ways of worship, their forms of worship, completely targeting solving the material desires of people. And people don't even think that they are visiting an astrologer who is recommending them certain solutions to solve their material problem of big house, more money, better health, and completely covered by the attractive speeches these people can give. They forget to see that guy himself is suffering from all these problems. So someone who is giving all this solution of doing this particular worship, you satisfy this devata and this problem will be solved. That particular astrologer himself is not able to solve his own material problem. But we get so attracted by the offers because of very clear focus. And Prabhupada is using very specific word, because people are embarrassed by so many material desires. Due to embarrassment of material desires, we don't mind trying out different means. My own cousin, most of my families are devotees now of Krishna, but my first cousin, we live in the same house, he's on the floor below me. One time I was speaking to him and he has all the devatas, including Krishna, you just name it, everything is there. In Sai Baba, everyone is there. Now very famous, some Guruji is becoming famous. Even he is also on the altar. Everything is there. So I asked him once, why so much hodgepodge? Why so much confusion? You have heard so many lectures, you have read Bhagavad Gita, why so much? He said, what if you are not right? What if I miss on something? And I've heard from devotees, but this was first time I was hearing from him. He says, this is called life insurance policy. So I am trying to cover myself thoroughly through all the worship by pleasing everyone. Maybe something may work. So what happens with such mentality? Bahushakhaya anantascha budhayo avyasayanam. The intelligence is so many branched, your faith is so many branched, your emotions, your love, your affection is so many branched, that one cannot really focus on developing one's relationship with Krishna. Even amongst devotees we see, here in the particular verse, it's talking about very specific direct worship of the Supreme Lord. But we see amongst devotees also, can lose track because of certain traditional backing. Okay, I come from certain culture, I have certain Kul Devi. There is no harm in worshipping or offering some prayers to your Kul Devi or Kul Devata or your ancestor deities. But seeing them independent operators is a big problem. And this is where we hear it so many times from devotees, that my family is suffering because we have displeased our Kul Devi or Kul Devata. Now, how can you displease your Kul Devi or Kul Devata by becoming good devotees of Krishna? When Jada Bharat was caught by these robbers, Kali worshippers, now they wanted to offer the best of the best offering to Mother Kali by slaughtering Jada Bharat. as a perfect offering to Mother Kali. Now Jadbharata didn't started worshipping Kali to please save, please save, please save me. Now this is the time, please save me, please save me. Now nothing can be as critical as you being slaughtered in front of a deity. But there is no account in Bhagavatam where Jadbharata is worshipping Mother Kali that please save me, please save me. He stuck to his worship of the Supreme Lord, even in that condition. The result was that Mother Kali bursted out of the deity and slaughtered all her devotees. That how could you even touch devotee of the Supreme Lord? So very important actually, if you see. But why it doesn't happen is what we will discuss a little bit today. But before that, for pure devotional service to even arise in the heart, or for the desire to even begin, Nectar of Devotion, very amazing explanation is given of what causes pure devotional service or sadhana bhakti to even begin on the level of pure devotion. And one of the key reasons is some little attraction for Krishna. Some very little attraction for hearing and chanting about the Supreme Lord is the cause of devotional service. No high birth, no purity, no advancement in Varnashram system, in Varnashram category. Doesn't matter you're born in the best of the best Brahmanical families. Doesn't matter you're born in a very pure circumstance. Does not even matter you're very high in the rung of Varna and Ashram, in your duties, in your social and spiritual level, whatever categories you are in. What matters is to begin devotional service, little attraction. Now where does this attraction come from? Any idea? What causes this little attraction to even take birth in the heart? Any idea what causes it? Previous life Sukriti. What causes previous life Sukriti? Yes, Mataji. Mercy of the devotee. What does that mean? Yes. Somehow or other, a very short maybe even instance, but some connection with a pure devotee. And when we say pure devotee, we are not talking about those devotees who are on the level of prema, who are on the level of pure love for Krishna. Those devotees can also do this job who are representing pure devotional service and who are actually glorifying Krishna for Krishna's pleasure. And they may not be on the level of love of Krishna. That's fine. Any little contact with any such devotee causes some attraction to take birth in the heart. And this is one of the key reasons Harinam, book distribution, all temple worship, all the services are happening. This is one key reason. To give birth in people's heart of some little attraction for Krishna. But then Prabhupada in the Nectar of Devotion, very, very interesting statement he makes. Until one has desire for fruitive activities and until one has desire for liberation, pure devotional service will never take birth. Will never actually really take shape in the heart of a devotee. And that's a very interesting statement because many people think that because I am born in certain tradition or culture and by birth I know who Krishna is, by birth I know who Radharani is, that is enough for me to practice bhakti. Actually it is not. Unless one steps up from the fruitive mentality of me gaining something out of worshipping Krishna, and unless one steps out of the mentality of me getting liberation and free from the clutches of material nature, one cannot enter the realm of pure devotional service. Now it doesn't matter you have cultural backing or not. That's not important. That's why the verse Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karma adhyena avritam anukulena Krishna anushilana bhaktiruttama is very important. One has to be completely above material desires, fruitive mentality and desire for liberation. Then pure devotional service, there is some scope that it will take birth. It will arise in our heart. But what if it actually does? That's where this particular verse is very famously given in this particular purport, which is very much matching almost the translation the given verse number 49 is matching with this verse in the purport from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 4:31. Yatha taror moola nischanena. If one waters the root of a tree, then all the branches, twigs, leaves, flowers, everyone gets nourished. If one eats food and places it in the right place, then all the bodily limbs gets nourished. Similarly, if one worships the Supreme Lord, then everything else gets nourished. Now, what is it everything else which gets nourished? Your father is calling you. What is that everything that gets nourished when Krishna is served? It's a very important question to know. Then only our attempts of pure devotional service will be very clear. Now, when we feed ourselves, we put food through the mouth, it goes in the belly, all the bodily limbs gets nourished. But when we serve the Supreme Lord, the particular same shloka says, everyone else gets satisfied. Who is that everyone? And what gets satisfied? All devatas get satisfied. Okay. What else? All the living entities get satisfied. You think so? If we become good devotees, sometimes one's own relative becomes against you. But yes, who else gets satisfied? Our own senses. You understood the question? Yeah. Translation is, similarly by worshipping Lord Vishnu, one can satisfy everyone. Who is that everyone? Is the question. For this, there is a very famous shloka in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. I'm very sure most of you have heard this. In 11th canto, chapter number 5, verse number 41. Many devotees struggle to apply it thoroughly, and we'll discuss one or two reasons why, but it's very important. And some people misquote it to run away from their duties. And that is, Devarshi bhutapta nirnam pitrinam naking karonayam rinicha rajan sarvatmanaya sharanam sharanyam gato mukunda parihritte kartum. If one has given up all material duties and taken up complete shelter of the Supreme Lord Mukunda, he has satisfied, and there is no debt on that person from all the devatas, all the sages, all the living entities, all the relatives, all the friends, the whole mankind, and the forefathers also who have passed away. So now all the debt is gone. Since all such classes of living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, one who has surrendered to the Lord's service has no need to serve such persons separately. And that's where, if you water the root, no need to serve separately. But is it perhaps easy to apply? You know, when Shraddha time comes, devotees starts, this shloka goes back of the mind. Even if someone tells you, say, no, we do Shraddha because Lord Chaitanya also did. Lord Chaitanya did not do because he was lacking or missing something. He did for Loka Vichar. You understand the word Loka Vichar? Loka Vichar means public opinion. People should not misunderstand. People should not see that, because they're practicing pure devotional service or they're doing bhakti, now they're not following even traditions. Just for that matter, if someone is doing, it's fine. But actually it's not required. Why? Because if someone has given up all material duties and has taken full shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, you are not indebted for any of such things. So at least a devotee can do is make a very nice offering to their deity and offer it to forefathers. And use it as an opportunity to feed and serve the devotees. And nothing more than that is required, technically. Now, Jiva Goswami and even Vishnu Thakur, in the commentary they comment, this does not apply to those who are on bodily concept. Now, every devotee will say, I am on bodily concept, I am not liberated, so I should do all this tarpan and I should do all this shraddha and all. No, the point they're making it very clear is, if one is not on the platform of pure devotional service, even through sadhana bhakti, fully dedicated to following the instructions of one's guru, then one has to fulfill all these obligations. But if someone is really initiated into Vaishnava Sampradaya and is dedicatedly following sadhana bhakti's process, because many people think sadhana bhakti is not pure devotional service. But actually Vaidhi sadhana bhakti also is in pure devotional service category. It's just that the mango hasn't matured yet. But the mango is rightly placed on the tree of pure devotional service. And then that same Vaidhi sadhana bhakti of pure devotional service reaches to the next stage of Raganuga sadhana bhakti, which is also pure devotional service. And that same pure devotional service matures to Bhava bhakti, which is also pure devotional service, and then later matures to Prema bhakti, which is also pure devotional service. Now, how they all are in the category of pure devotional service? Because they are all practiced on the level of Anyabhilashita Shunyam. There is no material desire, there is no fruitive desire, there is no desire for liberation. And because all three desires are not there, but yet we are not completely pure and in love with Krishna, that is fine. But as long as one is acting on that platform, this Devarshi Bhutapta will apply to that person. That he is not indebted to anyone. But as soon as one steps down from that platform, then everything, all the Vedic rules and regulations apply to that person. And Srila Prabhupada quotes this particular verse. Because there is in same canto, 20th chapter, the chapter is Pure Devotional Surpasses Knowledge and Detachment. There is a very nice verse. 11:29. Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvidyeta yavata matkatha sarvanadava shraddha yavan na jayate. As long as one is not satiated by fruitive activity and has not awakened his taste for devotional service by Shravan, Kirtan, Vishnu. So if someone is not free from fruitive mentality and has not developed taste of bhakti through hearing and chanting, it's very important to understand this. One has to act according to regulative principles of Vedic injunction. One has to act. So now those who can, some people will take excuse of now I am chanting Hare Krishna, I don't need to follow anything. And there is another extreme of those devotees who will never leave that platform and go to the fruit of pure devotional platform, thinking I am not pure, I am not on the platform of soul, so I don't need to do that. So both are problem actually. So, just before this verse, because Uddhava is asking some questions and Krishna is answering, and this is Krishna's words where Krishna is saying this. If someone hasn't developed taste for hearing about me, they must follow the regulative principles of scriptures. And then just a couple of verses before, Krishna says that there are only 3 ways I am telling you for self-realization. There is no other way for self-realization. And the 3 other ways is, one is through Jnana Yoga, Krishna says, other is through Karma Yoga, and the third is through Bhakti Yoga. And Krishna literally exact words he uses in verse number 7 of this chapter. There is no other way to achieve self-realization. So someone who is disgusted with material life will naturally choose Jnana Marg, where they want to get rid of material suffering. And someone who is yet very much attracted to material sense enjoyment, they choose Karma Yoga, where they enjoy what they want to enjoy, but they offer some results to the Supreme Lord. But a devotee who comes in contact with the pure devotee, or a person who comes in contact with pure devotees and develops taste for hearing about Krishna, chanting Krishna's names, if these 2 things are there in place, then that person is eligible for Bhakti Yoga. When I was going through these verses, this was very nice to go through this understanding that what exactly is our position in terms of leaving which Vedic injunction and applying what Vedic injunction. In that same purport, Prabhupada quotes this verse. Shruti Smriti Mamavaikya Yaste Ulanghana Vartate. He says, Shruti and Smriti literatures are to be understood as my injunctions. All the Shruti Shastra, Vedas, and Smriti Shastra, all the Puranas, are my injunction. And one who violates such code is to be understood as violating my will, and thus he is opposing me. Although such a person may claim to be a devotee, he is actually not a Vaishnava. And that's why one has to be careful not to go to this extreme or that extreme also. So usually devotees will take safe path, that they will stick to the tradition while performing bhakti. But there is a problem in that. And the problem is, the spirit of Sankirtan will not really ignite in the heart. Many devotees would prefer doing a yajna, a fire sacrifice, where there is fire and swaha is happening and smoke is purifying the house. But that same devotee may not understand the intensity or the potency of Sankirtan. And that's the problem. When devotees are together chanting the holy names of the Lord, how that is more powerful or more applicable in Kali Yuga than having a fire yajna with all the best of the ingredients purifying your house. And Prabhupada knew this. And Prabhupada knows this mentality. And that's where, if you see, most of the Western temples he established, or even in India, many temples he established, which was not in Vrindavan or other very prominently areas, he did not focus too much on yajnas and all elaborate preparations. He was just do Kirtan. And even in Melbourne, just do Kirtan, and he was bathing Gaurnitai. There was no yajna pit here. But in Vrindavan, he purposefully did that so that locals should see it as a very elaborate arrangement. Wow, very nicely they're doing everything. But he was very clear that what is more important is Sankirtan yajna than the fire yajna. But it takes some good understanding of the philosophy to really apply it. Lord states that if one has not developed firm faith in the process of chanting and hearing, one must comply with ordinary injunctions of Vedic literature. If someone has not really developed faith. And Srila Prabhupada is a very classic example of that, We know the story from Lilamrita, when his own initiation ceremony was happening, of sannyas initiation ceremony is happening. And now it's time, his name is given, now it's time for the yajna to start and all the mantras to be chanted. So behind there is a group of devotees sitting and they are doing Kirtan. Akinchan Krishnadas Babaji is there, his sannyas guru is there, Bhakti Pragya Maharaj, so many devotees are there, senior disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj are there. And there is a yajna happening where the pujari is doing yajna, now he has to chant mantras. So what this pujari does, he signals to the Kirtan team that now you be quiet. Now it's time to offer mantras. What does Prabhupada do? He turns towards that Kirtan team and says, don't stop, chant. And Akinchan Krishnadas Babaji, who was just chanting 24 hours a day, if he's awake, he's just chanting only, nothing else he does. He told to Prabhupada's disciples later that you do not understand how powerful is your Guru. He was telling Prabhupada disciples when they would come and meet him. He said, no one in the history of Vaishnavism has shown so much faith in the holy name like your Guru shows. And no one in the history of Vaishnava-acharyas has achieved what your Guru has achieved. And he said the day he did that, when he asked the devotees to continue with Kirtan, even though the pujari said no, he said that day only I understood he is the Acharya who is going to fulfill Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's prediction. He said, I understood that day only. It was not because Prabhupada was very perfect in doing the yajna. Prabhupada became the Acharya because of his faith in the holy name, in Sankirtan. And he writes in his poem, when he's reaching Boston Harbor, you have given me name Bhaktivedanta, bhakti with knowledge. Neither I have bhakti nor I have knowledge, but I have firm faith in your holy name. And through that, because of that faith, I am entering America to preach Krishna consciousness. I don't think so. Anything else is more clear than that. What the potency or the importance of Sankirtan in comparison to many other activities. So, but devotees can really miss the point sometimes. So, in conclusion, quoting in the purport, Prabhupada quotes Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami points out in this regard that when a person fully surrenders to Lord Krishna, he takes shelter of Lord's promise. When someone surrenders to Krishna, he is actually taking shelter of the promise of the Lord. What is the promise? That he will liquidate all of the responsibilities and debts of the surrendered soul. The devotee thus becomes fearless by meditating on Lord's promise of protection. The devotee becomes fearless because he is meditating on the promise of the Lord. What is the promise? Devarshi bhutaptaranam. No other debt is on a devotee who is surrendered. Those, however, who are materially attached are frightened by the prospect of full surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And even amongst initiated devotees, we see this. Those who are materially attached are frightened by this prospect. When I was reading only, I could just think of myself only, that we are so scared of really, really giving full surrender to Krishna. Still we want to hold on to many things. Thereby, what they reveal their inimical mentality towards the Lord. These are Jiva Goswami's words. How they are inimical towards the Lord. So very, very amazing verses actually, these particular purports also given to these verses. Today we have appearance and disappearance of two such powerful Vaishnavas who display what is complete surrender, pure devotion, and what it means to be attached to hearing and chanting about Krishna's holy name. One is its appearance day of Raghunandan Das Thakur, Raghunandan Das Thakur, who is very famously known in the devotee community, where his father is Mukunda Dutt, another very powerful Vaishnava. And just on the order of his father, who went for some medical business, I think he was a doctor, that's why he had to go. He just asked his son casually that I'm going now, and every day I offer bhoga to the Lord. I offer some things to the Lord. Today I am going, can you do this offering on my behalf when I am away? And this small 5-6-year-old boy, Raghunandan Thakur, really took it literally. He took it so literally that he thought, because my father has said, you offer this bhoga to the Lord, and when you offer bhoga to the Lord has to eat. Like I eat, my father eats, my mother eats, the Lord has to eat. So he took the plate from his mother to the Lord and offered. Now, if you have done offering at home, most of you have done, even when we go in the altar and we offer, we don't even expect. We don't even expect the Lord to come down and eat. We just do all the mudras. Okay, my dear Lord, please take asana. Please come and sit. And please accept this offering. And then we just chant our mantra and then we just leave, assuming that Lord will eat. We can only request. But this Raghunandan Das Thakur was adamant. He really wanted the Lord to come and eat because father said so. So he said, I'm waiting, eat, 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 eat. And he started crying. Why are you not eating? Why are you not eating? He was so intensely praying, why are you not eating? The Lord started speaking to him. I am a deity. I don't eat. I've already eaten. I've accepted your offering. Now take it back. I saw it and through my eyes I ate. He said, no, it doesn't work like that. You have to eat. You have to really eat the offering. The Lord was so moved by his devotion. It was not like a childish endeavor or a child being very adamant, Mujhe ye chahiye, I really want this from the shopping center. And he's crying, Mummy, no, I really want to buy this, get me. That's not that type of tantrum he's throwing. Because he is an associate of Radha Krishna from their Leela. He's a Manjari, who is as Raghunandan Thakur in Chaitanya Leela performing his pastime. So Lord started eating. And he ate the whole plate and Raghunandan came out and gave the empty plate to the mother. Now for mother it is a surprise. What is happening here? How come the plate is empty? When father came back in the evening, she told that boy is becoming naughty. Father said, no, but he is a very well-behaved kid. He cannot do this. He cannot throw the offering. He cannot eat the whole thing. It's a lot. So he tells again to Raghunandan Thakur, you go and offer again. Because Raghunandan said, Lord ate. Their deity's name was Gopinath. He said, Gopinath ate. What is the problem? Gopinath came and he ate. So now father wanted to test it for himself. So he hid himself behind the curtain and he asked Raghunandan, okay, now you offer again. So Raghunandan again took the plate and he said, now eat. Eat, eat, eat. Why are you not eating? Eat. You ate before, why are you not eating? Eat, eat. The Lord started speaking again to him. I cannot eat, I am a deity, I have eaten. You take the plate back now. I have seen the offering, I have eaten. No. Started crying again, you have to eat. Because you ate before, you have to eat. So this is the time when the Lord came down and he was eating the offering. But Mukunda Datta, who was behind the curtain, he became so ecstatic, could not control his emotions, that he came out of the curtain because he saw his own deity coming down, sitting and eating the offering, which has never happened to him. And as soon as he came out, the Lord just stayed like this. Many people, they worship Gopalji deity. The Gopalji deity is like this. So even that deity worship, Gopal deity is coming in. Raghunandan, our line of Raghunandan Thakur, making Gopinath to come down and eat. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu later joked with Mukunda Datta. Mukunda, you are the father and Raghunandan is the son. So technically the father is the guru of the son. But now you tell me who is father, who is guru? Who is father, who is son? And Mukunda Datta says, actually Raghunandan is my guru. He is the father, I am the son. Because what is pure devotional service, he has taught me. So, now can you imagine people like Raghunandan Das Thakur, or now we will discuss a little bit about Vamsi Das Babaji, would even deviate towards fruitive activities or liberation or desire to be liberated or to fulfill their material desires, they'll pray to any devata? Not possible. I can't remember which Acharya is that, but it's a very strong statement. He said, even if I'm dying outside on the street, in front of a devata's mandir, in front of a demigod's temple, I will not pray to him to save me. He said, even if I'm dying on the street outside the mandir of a devata, I will not pray. Why? Because I've taken shelter of Mukunda. I've taken shelter of Krishna. And this is exactly what Jad Bharat did. He did not pray to Kali to save him. He just meditated. He kept his focus on Krishna's worship. Other great personality whose disappearance today is Vamsi Das Babaji. He's a very, very extraordinary personality. To that degree he is extraordinary that Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj had to tell his own disciples not to associate with him because they will misunderstand him. Because his activities were not common. Vamsi Das Babaji, again born in Bangladesh. Bangladesh is going through quite a bit of issues right now. Many ISKCON temples are attacked. Devotees can offer their prayers. There is serious problem happening there. Because many of our Gaudiya Acharyas have come from there. A lot of preaching has been done there by our current Acharyas also. And many temples are established there. So Vamsi Das Babaji was also one of the Acharya who was born in Bangladesh, East Bengal that time. Later he came to Navdeep. Very detached personality from very beginning. You know, there was a tradition in India many, many years back. Very young age they would get kids married. So as 13, 14 maximum, get married. So he was also married at a very young age. Very, very young age. But he was not at all interested in married life. He had a son when he was 8 or 9 years old. He just walked out. He said, I can't handle this anymore. For me, this is not there. I just want to serve Krishna, and he just walked out. He just left home. No one could stop him because he was showing so much extreme detachment from material affairs. So he went and he became a Babaji in Navdeep. He was worshipping his Gaurnitai, Gadadhar deities. His Gaurnitai, Gadadhar deities he was worshipping regularly. One day, some people asked Vamsi Das Babaji, Vamsi Das Baba, you have deities, you have paraphernalia, you have mobile phone which is ringing, you have deities, you have paraphernalia, why don't you lock your house? You have small hut, you have deities, you have so many things, brass pots and all. He said, I have 3 keys of my house, of my hut. One key is with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, another key is with Nityananda Prabhu, and the third key is with Gadadhar. It is their house. And if they are not interested to protect their house, what can I do? So I just leave the keys to them. Please don't follow. So I just leave my 3 keys to my deities. So many times people would come and steal. And many times the deities has protected also from stealing. So one time someone donated a gold chain for the Lord. So he had kept that chain in the house. And a thief came and he stole. So now bystanders are watching from outside. Vamsi Das Babaji goes in the hut and the chain is missing. He gets so angry on his deities. For 2 hours he chastised his deities. Walking back and forth, shouting at the deities. Walking back and forth, shouting. When I gave you the keys, why didn't you protect? Why did you side with the thief? Why did you not protect your property? And blasting non-stop, going on and on and on and on. And then he got a hint while blasting that who that thief is. The Supreme Lord gave some hint. So he went to the thief's house and he said, I know you have stolen the chain, give me the chain back. So when it came to protecting Lord's property, he was fearless. He went to ask from the thief directly. So the thief pushed him from the veranda and he fell down and he got a little hurt. Very soon the thief's leg got completely amputated. He died. Every member of his family died of the thief because he disrespected Vamsi Das Babaji. But Vamsi Das Babaji did not even speak one word in retaliation. When he was pushed and he fell on the ground, he just walked back home. He was so upset on his deities. Why did he do this? Another time someone came, he had brass pots in which he would cook for his deities. So he had a habit that he would wash the rice carefully again and again. And if there is one particle left, he would wash individual rice carefully. Morning he would start slowly washing, preparing, cutting. It will be evening. Cooking hasn't started only. And he's just singing about the Lord, talking about the Lord. Whole days like that. And then evening he would start to cook. Night he would offer. Whole night he would not sleep. There was no concept of time for him because the whole day is engaged in devotional service. For us there is a problem. Sadhana, bhakti, sattva, gun, wake up in the morning, sleep early. But someone who's on the pure platform, there is no concept of time because they are transcendental to material effects. So like that he would offer in those brass pots. So someone came and they stole those 2 brass pots. Again he went inside the home and he started shouting at Gaur-Nitai. I have given you the key. If you can't protect your own pot, the result is you will not eat today. For 1 full day he made them starve. So now Gaur-Nitai are hungry. They are hungry, right? Because he hasn't cooked anything for them. So now they are very hungry, and then Nityananda Prabhu, he could not control his hunger. So he inspired the thief to bring back the pot. So the thief comes, old man comes and he returns the pot. He said, okay, now I'll cook for you. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is looking, why not me? Because your pot is not returned. And he would say, you have sided with the thief. You are so compassionate to Navdeep Vasis that you allow them to steal. I am an outsider, right? But you are very compassionate towards your Dham Vasis and you keep letting them allow to take your stuff. Now you starve. So Nityananda Prabhu ate and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is starving. Then later another old man comes and returns the pot. And then in the night he cooks for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. Like that was his exchange. So one day a fisherwoman was coming and it's very famous, common in Bengal, they sell fish. So this fisherwoman came and somehow Vamsidas got attracted because of his Purva Sanskar or whatever, or it was actually Lord's Leela, to eat fish. Just that desire came and he said, just get lost with the desire. And he became very upset on the fisherwoman and he started telling her, just leave this place, get out of my house. Now when the fisherwoman left, again he started chastising his deities. Yeah. I have surrendered my life to you. There is nothing that I have which is not yours. My time, my life, my life's breath, my thoughts, everything are yours. How did you even allow this thought to come in me that I could eat fish? You will be punished now. This is the pastime. When that happened, Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj told all his disciples, don't go near him because you will do offenses towards him. You will not understand. He took Gaur-Nitai, tied them with the rope and threw them in Ganga. And with his feet, he's holding the rope. And he's telling them, will you do it again? Otherwise, I'll reap the rope. Will you do it again? And when he did that, after some chastisement, he brought the deities back. He placed them back on the altar and he said, never do this again. And this is that's the time Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj told, because Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, through his brahmacharis, through ashram, they would provide vegetables to him and bhoga to him. He said, no one is going towards him anymore now. Because when he was holding with his feet, with his toe, thank you. So when he was holding the rope with his feet, one passerby came and he said, Babaji, what are you doing? He picked up a stone and threw at him. Just go away. Do not disturb my exchange with my Gaurnita. So Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj told his disciples not to go. Only one devotee will go who was regularly visiting to give him the bhoga. Now next time when this devotee also went to give bhoga, he picked up a stone and threw at him. That if you want to please me, never come in front of me again. But when Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj would go, he would say, oh, he's so dear to my Gaura. He's so dear to my Gaura. He never said anything to Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. But his disciples he would chastise. So amazing exchange he would have. And that is the reason Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said, don't go near him. Because you will not understand what is happening. Why is he behaving with these deities? So today is his disappearance. I think in 1944, he left his body. He was 85 years old. He traveled to so many places towards the end. In 1941 onwards, he traveled to so many different places. Vrindavan, Varanasi, all the different ghats. Even in Sarayu Nadi in Ayodhya he traveled. And all the disciples who went with him, all the people, helpers who went with him that time, they gave amazing exchanges. They gave amazing accounts of his transcendental devotion. So seeking blessings of these two great personalities, that we can also come on this platform where we realize just by watering the root of the tree, everything will be satisfied if we can serve Krishna through hearing his holy name, through chanting his glories. That is enough than being diverted to so many other fruitive activities. Hare Krishna. With that I'll stop. If there is any question or comment, please ask.
Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the nice class. Prabhu, you mentioned how materialists, they approach the demigods for their material desires and wantings. But as devotees, we approach Lord Krishna for both our material and spiritual desires. So I'd like to ask, in Mahabharata we see Yudhishthira and Arjuna, they know, being a pure devotee of Krishna, they still derive boons from the demigods. So how do we understand?
Yeah, so when we see in Mahabharata, Krishna personally went and told Arjuna, you go to the Devatas and get the weapons. You go to Shivji, get the weapons. You go to Durga Devi, get the weapons. But that same Arjuna, when Krishna decided, either you can choose me and I will not fight in the war, or you can take my Narayani Sena, my one Akshawani Sena, which is almost 1/10 of Kaurava's Sena. You can choose either of that. That in that particular conversation, when Arjuna purposefully chose Krishna, Krishna was externally chastising him, just to show to the world. Krishna said, you are such a fool, Arjuna. Why did he choose me? I gave you the first chance to choose me. Why did he choose me? You could have chosen my army. I will not even fight. That's where Arjuna says, he became very emotional. He says, Krishna, you just be on my side. I don't even need my own army, my brothers. You just be on my side, I can fight all the devatas alone. You just be on my side. So Arjuna was not in illusion that he really needs weapons from the devatas. On Krishna's instructions he went, because please always we have to understand, even though the Lord is a supreme Lord, he is a supreme controller, he was doing his human pastime, his Naralila. And because he was doing his human pastime, he made sure that the dharma which he himself has established, like Krishna said in the verse I also read, those who are not on the pure devotional platform, they must follow the regulative principles given in the scriptures because they are my words. And if you neglect it, even in the name of being a devotee, you are not a Vaishnava, you are not a devotee. So the Lord himself established through Arjuna the worship of the devatas. But then, many people ask this question from a different angle. If Krishna is the Supreme Lord, why is he asking Arjuna to go to Shivji to get the weapons? Before the battle even started, that same Krishna, when he showed his universal form, his Virat Rupa, He told Arjuna while showing the Virat Rupa that I have already killed everyone. Drona, Karna, Bhishma, all are being crushed under my teeth. I have already killed everyone other than you 5 brothers and few more other soldiers. No one is going back home. But then if Krishna has already killed everyone, why did he tell Arjun to go and get the weapons? Just so that he can establish religious principles through his own devotees. But simultaneously he establishes his own pure devotional service also. That if you surrender unto me, if you completely surrender unto me, sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja, then I will take care of you. I will protect you completely. So the Lord does it, both the things simultaneously. Even if you see what Lord Ram did, he worshipped Shivji while going to Lanka for 3 days in Rameshwaram. And he is requesting the ocean to give way. But ocean is not listening. So what he did? He took his arrow out and ocean came, sorry, I'll give you the way. But he established through his own behavior that you should request. You should offer prayers to devatas. But what happened at the end? It was him who decided what he wants to do and how he wants to do. If Lord Ram was establishing, many people claim that Ram established worship of Shivji. Yes, to some degree he did. But if Lord Ram was establishing worship of Lord Shiva as absolute truth, then why Shivji could not even save his own devotee when Lord Ram wanted to kill Ravan? Actually, Parvati told this to Shivji. Your own devotee is being killed soon. Go and save him. Shivji said, the Supreme Lord himself has come to kill him. I have no authority to interfere now. He deserves to be killed. Let him die. And Parvati did say, he's your devotee. It's your duty bound to go and save him. Shivji said, no, not when the Supreme Lord comes to kill. Otherwise, I will go and protect him because he's my devotee. So understand the whole picture. Why Lord does the way he does, because as in his human pastime, he does establish religious principles. Is that okay?
Thank you.
Any other question? Yes, Mataji.
Thank you for the class, Prabhu. May I request you to expand a little bit more about what that means, worshipping Krishna, because can be the misconception that it's limited only to worship, doing artik, for example. What we can understand of worshipping Krishna only?
Srila Prabhupada explains this when he quotes Prahlad Maharaj's verse, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam, that one worship of Krishna is through hearing about Krishna, to chanting his glories, to remembering Krishna, through offering worship to the deities, to becoming a subservient to the Lord, to be friendly to the Lord, to offer everything to the Lord. And that's why many different pastimes are quoted in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, where Bali Maharaj, we don't see Bali Maharaj chanting and dancing in Sankirtan, but he is the example of Atmanivedanam, where he offered everything to the Supreme Lord. And that became the topmost worship. So in our context, for us, the worship of Krishna is through Sankirtan, because we are entities of Kali Yuga. And Prabhupada knows that we are not very capable of all the time chanting the names of Krishna. So he has given us very positive, very intense engagement of worshipping the deities. Bhaktivedanta Maharaj had a devotee, I was naming him before also, Akinchan Krishnadas Babaji. What he would do whole day was just chanting Hare Krishna. So if someone comes and asks him a very philosophical question, he would answer, just chant Hare Krishna. So many of his god brothers went and complained to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur that he doesn't do any service. Whole day he just chants Hare Krishna. He's really not performing any cooking, any cleaning in the mutt. He's living in the ashram. Hare Krishna. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, you know what he told his disciples? He said, because he's capable of chanting all the time. Do not disturb him. You are not, that's why I'm engaged you all in other services. So if the prime final result we want to see is Sankirtan, just chant the names of Krishna. But yet because we don't have taste for that, so many other engagements of worshipping Krishna is there. Is that okay?
Yeah, I was considering that aspect of the so many variety of activities that if we do it as a worship for the Lord, it's pleasing to the Lord. So it's the instructions, but
Yeah.
because the mentality as worship to Krishna.
Yeah. So Prabhupada answers this in another different place. He says, anything and everything we do as devotees in ISKCON must be done with the mentality that it will please Krishna. And if that is not there, then it's not pure devotional service. And that's why I was telling, one can be on the level of sadhana bhakti, but one can still perform pure devotional service. That's why nectar of devotion is very important to study. One can still perform pure devotional service if one is doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. One may not have developed asakti or complete attachment to the Supreme Lord. One may not be on the platform of bhava or prema. That's fine. But if it is done for pleasing Krishna and not for personal pleasure of one's own senses and mind, then that is genuine worship of Krishna. Now that can be that can be such a range of worship, such a range of activities. A devotee can just stand on the counter in Crossways and just take money, and that can be pleasing to Krishna if the devotee is doing it for that matter. Whole day one takes this call. Yes, Hare Krishna temple. How can I help you? How can I help you? How can I help you? But if it is for pleasure of Radha Vallabha, amazing results are there. And so many different activities are there. And that's why in Agni Puran there is a statement. It says, if someone is attending the Aarti, they get exactly the same result, if their consciousness is right, to the pujari who is doing the Aarti inside the altar with that same consciousness. The idea is, this is going to please the Supreme Lord. Anything else, or we finish? Grantharaj Srimad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur